happy Thursday. Welcome to this week's video of On the Cutting Table with K&K Logo Designs. I'm Jessie, and this week on the cutting table we will be doing part 3 of 3 of our Starry Echoes table topper. So we'll be finishing up our last block and starting the assembly. And after you have it all assembled, you can quilt it on your machine, or you can have it quilted and then you can put the binding on and it's done. So first we're going to make sure all of our teal fabric or whatever fabric you chose for your middle block is all lined up with the right sides of the fabric together. And we are going to mark using our quick quarter quilter's ruler. We're going to mark again. We do the dashed lines in the center and our 2 solid lines on the side of the ruler, and we're sewing on the solid lines and then cutting on the dashed line to get our half square triangles. So after we mark them all, we're going to sew on the solid line, and you can chain stitch if you want, otherwise you can sew them one at a time. After we have them all sewn together, we're going to cut on that dashed line that we made with the quick quarter quilter's ruler, and we're going to cut them on that dashed line so we have that 1/4 inch seam on each side. After you have them all cut apart, you're going to iron the half square triangles, and when you iron them, we're going to press to the dark side. So we want the dark side of the fabric pressed down. After we iron, this is how we're going to lay out our blue or teal, whatever color you have for your middle block. We're going to lay it out like this, and you will have a lot more teal in this than in the other squares. So this is how we're going to lay out the teal block. And then we're going to sew your half square triangles into their rows. So sew row 1 and row 2, row 3 and row 4. After we get all of the rows sewn together, this is what it will look like. So after all the rows are sewn into strips, you're going to sew row 1 to row 2, row 2 to row 3, and row 3 to row 4. And then make sure we iron that one. After we have all of our rows sewn together to get that block, we're gonna iron it. After we have that one ironed, we are going to start to lay out our table topper. So we have all of the blocks finished, and we should have 9 blocks. Yeah, we should have 9 blocks, 2 pink block A's, 2 purple block A's, 2 orange, or in my case yellow block B's, 2 green block B's, and then our final block C that we just finished sewing. So we're gonna lay it out, and this is, you can lay it out how you want. This is how the pattern shows to lay it out. And then we are going to sew our blocks together to make a row. So we're gonna sew our pink block to our green block to our orange block, and that'll be your first row. And you'll repeat that to make row 2 and to make row 3. After you have all of the rows sewn together, you're going to sew your row 1 to your row 2, and then you'll sew row 2 to row 3, and then you can iron the whole table topper, and voila, you have your Starry Echoes table topper from allpeoplequilt.com. Again, we have the fabric I used was the Nana May 330s collection, and I chose to use that fabric because it's a whole collection. Granted, it's not solid fabric as the pattern calls for, but it is a collection that all coordinates and matches throughout, so it ended up looking super cute because they all match. And I chose to do a patterned white as well. It's a white on white print fabric that I chose instead of the plain white. So after that, we can get some batting and a back and some binding, and then you can finish your table topper. And that's what's on the cutting table at K&K Logo Designs.